Good day, guys. Welcome back to the channel. I am Brother Minister Cepeda, the establisher and operator of a holistic ministry that is created to assist you guys with balancing and synthesizing the combination of your mind, your body, and your spirit. The strategies and tactics that I utilize to achieve this goal consist of philosophical consultations that are based on experiential philosophies, ISSA certified fitness training, and clean-hearted spiritual teachings and practices. In addition, some other things, other services that I provide and I'm very, very passionate about is youth and young adult mentoring, as well as inspirational and motivational speaking. So check out the website at treelifeoutreach.com. Have any questions, my contact information is there. As far as video, do indeed like, comment, and subscribe. I'm going to speak just briefly about, love. This is, if I make 1,000 videos, 1,000 of them will probably have something to do with love. You'll hear me utilize that word even if it has something to do with that particular topic or not. Love the weather. I could be talking about knowledge. I love wisdom. I love knowledge. I can be talking about, having done something that I feel as though I shouldn't have did. I love the fact that I caught that and corrected it. Something I don't like. I don't like when, this guy was driving all close to the bumper of the car, but I love the way, that's all he did. He just drove around. I love the way I maintained my composure. I love whatever. I love you. I love life. I love everybody. I'm just a loving guy. And I don't use that word loosely. And I don't use it in a Pollyanna manner either. With love comes all the different responsibilities and the different offshoots of love, if you will. So it's not about being a punk. It's not about being a chump, a sissy, or anything like that, or somebody who is being unrealistic. Because, as you know, if you love your baby, you can love your baby. If you see them over there playing with the sockets or playing in the streets, you're going to call them in the house and give them the business. So it's that kind of love, I just really just love loving, man. That's me. And today I'm going to talk about love so far as what have you done personally today to express love, to seed love, to nurture love, to spread love. And before you talk about your family, before you mention hubby, wife, or kids, or close relatives, or best friends, it's not what I'm talking about. Obviously, those things are to be commended, and to be saluted. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the love that is greater and extends beyond just those that it's easy for us to love. You should be loving your wife. You should be loving your husband and your kids. That's not what I'm talking about. So what have you done today? Haven't done anything just yet today to express love, to spread love, to nourish love that is already perhaps being seeded, or it's fledgling in a certain area of your life or a co-worker's life or the community as a whole? What have you done? Because if you have love and you're just giving it to your loved ones, then shame on you. That's not why you have it. I venture to say that there are more loving people on the planet than what we're led on to believe. I think what's happened is, and what continues to happen, is that we have decided that we, not consciously, but subconsciously, we decided that the world is going crazy. People don't want love. You've tried. People are just mean and cruel. And why try and love people that make it obvious to you, abundantly so, that they're not interested in love. They love, the hate that they are dwelling in, And so we just kind of sweep it under the rug. And it would be my position that that is definitely an error. Just think about it. And you'll hear me say this over and over again. The only thing necessary for evil men to be successful and to rule is for good men to do nothing. That includes good men, women, and children. So what's our point? What's our motive if we have love, but we're not going to share it? We're not going to water it and nurture it. We're not going to spread it. We're just going to keep it to ourselves. And that's the trick of the enemy. I think there's a lot more people on this planet who are operating from a template of love. But for whatever reason, fear, the possibility of being embarrassed or rejected, the possibility of appearing as a weirdo, because let's face it, if you're living in a madhouse and everybody has issues, mental, psychological, social, spiritual issues, and that's all they know, and then you show up and you don't have any of those issues, then obviously you're going to look crazy to those who are crazy. So I think we know this, and we've sat back too passive. We've sat back too passively, and we have allowed society to continue to plummet because we have not done any of the things that we're called to do. In fact, we've done the opposite, which sometimes we won't even try anymore. We have just taken on this us against them mentality. And now there is something to be said about that, which I will do a video on that. But what we have to remember is that 85% of the people who are being negative, despondent, envious, jealous, and greedy, and all these different things, 85% of them are just those who are like sheep. They're just going to follow whoever it is that's leading them. 85% of the people on the planet. Now, this number could be a bit higher, could be a bit lower, but that's the general place to start, and it's actually my belief that it's right there. It's 85%. Other people on the planet are just, followers and doers, and they need to be led by someone. So then you have the 10% who know this information, and they're doing all the leading of the 85%. And then you have the 5%ers, those who really have love and real honor, real desire to be good, clean human beings, to grow and to love and to prosper while being strong and determined. Those are the 5%ers. But what has happened lately, in my view, is that the 5%ers have taken this out route to where, based on how fast everything is moving in our society nowadays, and always being bombarded with news of hateful acts, vengeful acts, wars, pestilence, pandemics, all these different things, one behind the other, and then when we go out into society, and if you feel different, you have that love in you, then it's all eyes on you. Let's attack him or her. Let's put him or her under the microscope. Let's do what we can do to make them go from feeling that love, that good, and let's have them feel bad like us. And so as the 5%ers, we have basically just decided that, you know what, people are crazy. We're going through some trying times, and that's that. We got to be careful about that, though. Because again, if 85% of the society is being that way, plus you got the 10% who are the ones who are like that way, they're not being led. They have committed themselves to the dark side. And they are basically controlling the 85%, but then you have the 5%ers who maybe not from a scholarly standpoint, but just from this thing called the divine spirit. We have power to be the ones who are leading the 85%ers, because the 85%ers are just sheep, and the sheep doesn't care if his shepherd or if his leader is going to lead him left, right, up, down, in circles. The sheep doesn't care. All the sheep knows is it's its job to follow. So when we don't stand up as 5%ers, if we don't stand up as love, or in our power of love, which is the greatest power in the entire universe, then we can see how the evil men just sit back and continue to pull all the strings in society. So love is a weapon. Love is a weapon, just like light is a weapon. Light is a weapon to darkness. By itself, light is just chilling. But if you shine that light on any darkness, then that darkness is threatened. That darkness is defeated. That darkness is removed. It's eliminated. So you and the love and the energy that you carry within yourself that emanates out, it's a tool. It's a weapon. So will you fight? Is the question. The question is, will you fight? Will you develop and summon the courage that it takes to set forth love, to be an example of, hey, yeah, I know the economy may be this, I know the pandemic may be that, I know haters may be this, I know danger in the streets may be that, but guess what? I'm gonna live my life, and I'm gonna deport myself with grace and majesty, even in the midst of those difficult moments. Again, don't get it misunderstood. Working, being, and expressing love and all of these capacities doesn't make you a chump. In fact, it makes you courageous. You know how much courage it takes to be that oddball out when everybody is sad, when everybody's walking the wrong way, and you decide, well, they're going to talk about me. They're probably going to throw stones at me, run my name through the mud and all of this and that. But I'm going this way. And it's always better to walk alone in the right direction than it is to walk with the multitudes headed in the wrong direction. And that's what's happening when you walk in that love, when you stay true to that love that's in your heart, that fire that's burning. But what's happened is we've just kind of shut down. We've just kind of shut down. And even though we are only 5% compared to the other 95%, we got to keep circling back to the fact that 85% of them are just misguided. They're just misled. They're just sheep following the masses that's been led by the 10%ers who have knowledge, who have information on how this thing called the human experience, how it operates, the tools and the mechanics of it all. And they utilize that to control the 85%. Then you have us, the 5%. And we don't need to be in any necessarily greater numbers. We just need to activate the 5% of us that it is. Because light is going to always overshadow darkness. So that one little match that's flaring, or you're waving through an empty apartment building, or you're just waving outside, it's going to stand out. It's going to pierce that darkness wherever it goes. Oh, guys, please pardon me, guys, please. So that is what we know we have in us, the power to be the ones controlling the 85%. Not in a negative way like 10%ers do, but in a positive way, in a constructive way that says, hey, we're going to lead you guys to a promised land. We're going to lead you guys to a higher you, more love, more joy. As Christ said, he came that we could have life and have it more abundantly. Some of us, having this love generated in us, this is our duty. I mean, it's all of our duties to move forward in these regards, showing love, giving love, expressing love, expressing the acts, the deeds, the facial expressions, everything about us, our body gestures, everything is centered around love. And you just have to be confident in the fact that that's who you are, that's what you're going to be. You decided, it's already you, and you just decided to just let it be. You can't be nobody other than who you are. And you have a light, you have a love that's inside of you that not many have. But that don't mean you should sit back and allow yourself to be isolated, because you literally can change 85% of the people who's walking around. 85% of them don't have a clue. We may have to be vigilant and consistent, because they, for the most part, they don't believe people like you and I exist. They think everybody's haters. And they think those who are not haters or into the witchcraft or whatnot, they think those people are slow. No, it's just neither. We're not slow. And we're not into witchcraft. Matter of fact, not only are we not slow, it's like if you go to the park and there's a giant track, and this guy has been around the track 15, 20, 30 times, and then you get on the track ahead of him and he's still tracking behind you, he seems like he's slow, but he's always ahead of you. This is what the infinite intelligence, this thing most commonly referred to as God, this is the power that it gives us. Because information that they have, computers that they build, all these things are designed to mimic the human brain, and more importantly, the human mind and the human spirit. Something that can compute, something that can hold information, something that can rationalize information, something that can navigate through information. It's always been their goal. And the goal of science and technology, to try and come up with something that can match or be likened unto the human mind, the human brain, the human emotions. Pardon me. So try as they may, they could never duplicate this. We just have to be committed to saying, listen, if there is only 5%, all it takes is 5%. You walk into a dark room, all it takes is that little match. Now, you may not be able to light up the whole room, depending on how big the room is, but it's going to always pierce. You go over there, there's light, down, up, around, there's always light. And it's piercing that darkness without a struggle. It doesn't take the darkness a few moments or a few quick seconds to leave. No, it's immediately banished. This is what love is. Love is a weapon. Love is a weapon, and they seeking to convince you and me to give that up. To give that up, to say, you know what, it's too hard, it's too difficult. No, walk and wield your weapon. And take a look at society, and take a look at your own home, society, the global human race. That love is needed, because it's that lack of love standing as the reason for why we're in this boat collectively to begin with. So sometimes we have to just take the responsibility and realize that, you know what, the things on my block is the way they are because I have a lot to do with it. Because when I see them doing something, I don't stand up. When I see them doing wrong, not something that would put me at risk or just would be reckless, something that I can comfortably say or do without there being any major ramifications. May just look weird, people may just talk about you and things of that nature, but there's no life-threatening situations. There's plenty of them that are not life-threatening that provide you with an opportunity to make your truth be known. Your friends, wearing Daisy Duke shorts, your homeboys popping pistols for no reason, just shooting at people and all this kind of stuff. We haven't stepped to the plate and say, hey man, look man, I know we might have to carry a gun or whatever, but do we really need to engage in that? No, man, I think that's wrong. I think that's bogus. So you haven't done your job. So stop running around blaming society / blaming the 85%, or what we would call the 85%ers. And no, I'm not a Muslim. I'm not a Christian. I'm a child of the one true and living God. I don't have no religion. I don't do no religious bashing. I just did a video the other day about how religions, all of them, particularly the major ones, and the ones that I'm very familiar with because I researched and was devout to them for X amount of time, the various ones that I was devout to. But even the other ones, in my view, they've all failed us. So it's up to us. It's up to us. No rescue team is coming. Nobody's coming to save us. Nobody's coming to save humanity. The 10%ers are committed to just having some humanity, go right on over the edge. That's what they've been aiming for all this time. Because it's their belief that once humanity fall completely apart, then they'll have everything they need to survive and the whole world will be theirs. So no one's coming to save us. We have to save ourselves. And love is a weapon. And we don't have to be foolish and think that some giant in the sky is going to come and save us when we won't take the time out necessary to do the things to even put forth a genuine effort towards saving ourselves. But we want to look outside of us and pray and hope that our Heavenly Father comes and saves us. If you were back in the day, that's not how it worked. Your mom and your dad stood right there and they let you fight. They didn't come save you. They let you fight. You and your neighbor, your friend, the stranger, they let y'all fight. And when you fell to the ground and the person you was fighting was getting the best of you or held you down, or maybe you lost that fight, they broke it up. That's all they did. They didn't jump in there to save you. You had to save yourself. You have to fight for yourself. Now, I know it's a little bit different with this machine culture, what I call it. I call it machine culture, to where, everybody just go get their gun, or they go get their homeboys and jump somebody, But getting back to the meat of the matter, no one's coming to save us, people. We have to do it. People like you and me and those who are like us, we have to put on our hard hats every single day and say, look, I have love in my heart and I'm sharing it, I'm nurturing it, I'm getting it out, I'm helping someone, I'm encouraging someone, and I'm setting the example for someone else to see it, for them to be inspired, for them to see, it can be done. And if we do what we're supposed to do as 5%ers, then the masses, the 85%ers, would join us on our quest to uplift and water and nourish things like peace and love and joy and kindness, happiness, harmony, compassion, all these different things. This is what we bring into this universe. These are the gifts that we brought into this universe, and it's not cool when we sit back and don't utilize them because of the way we may look, the way it may make others feel. You've seen it when you walk in there with a big smile or just a straight face, but energy just emanating in your inner being. You have energy just going through your inner being, and you maintaining that just because you feel good. You're a loving person, you're a loving soul, and you walk into a room and you see the ugly looks. All you did was walk into the room just like everybody else. So it's going to offend some people. It's going to make some people nervous. You are going to come off as being this and that. But to thine own self be true. And get that love out. Because when you think about it, what else is there? A world that continues to collapse further and further into utter chaos. And I don't know if you're okay with that. I know that I'm not. I'm going to do everything that I can. Open my chest, hold my head up high, and I'm going to conduct and deport myself in ways that are honorable, that are respectable, that are humble, that are courageous, and that is loving. So that's what we have it for, guys. The good book says you wouldn't buy a candle and then go light it and put it under a bed. You have that love for it could spread out. It's a tool. It can be used to shine light on the darkness and pierce that darkness. And let these 85%ers realize that it is real. There is some people like that. You know, if this guy can do it, I can do it. If this guy can walk in the room and be willing to sacrifice, I can do it. If this young lady can walk into the room and be willing to sacrifice her name, her reputation, he sacrificed his name and his reputation and taking the lumps and the bruises of all the things that haters say and still stand strong. That's inspiring to others. And then they feel like they can do it, and so forth and so on. So there's nothing to fear. There's nothing to fear, but we have become so conditioned and so docile to the point to where within ourselves, we subconsciously sometimes just check out. And every moment that we do that, the 10%ers are sitting somewhere laughing. Like, well, yeah, that's what we want you to do. We don't care if you do anything except for shine that light. You can fight each other. You can ignore the information. You could turn down. You can do all these things, whatever. Just don't upset the apple cart with your love, with your enthusiasm, with your charisma. And I say that's exactly what I'm going to do. That's exactly what you should do. Let that light shine because it's a weapon. Love is a weapon. And every time you walk in love, and all that it gives birth to, again, kindness, compassion, integrity, all these different things, you're destroying the system. This is why some days you feel like you're under great attacks, because you are. And it's almost like it's just like the movie Matrix, where Morpheus told Neo, "Hey, listen, the very people we fighting to free, the very people that we are fighting to free is the very people who, want our heads to roll. They want our heads to roll because they have become so immersed and comfortable in their hate that now love actually hates them. But we got to be willing to stay the course and realize that just like going for a jog, lifting weights, studying for a test. You got to go through the pain before you can get the reward. So let's not be afraid. Let's not be afraid to put this word out, because if we put this word out, slash this love out, it's a indestructible weapon. It's an almighty, all-powerful weapon. And the enemy know this. This is why they try to keep us distracted, keep us in a state to where we feel as though it's just not worth it because people are this or people are that, or I've tried, and this is just the times we live in. Yeah, there is something to say about the times we live in and the separation of the wheat and the tare. But we got to be careful, because again, the only thing that's necessary for evil men to prevail is for good men to do nothing, is to sit back and be weak and passive. See, now we can be humble, but humble is controlled strength. Yes, I walk in humbleness. I don't walk in arrogance. Yeah, I got this love. I'm gonna flaunt it all up in your face, and I'm this and I'm that. I walk humble, because humble is controlled strength. Humbleness is controlled strength. So that's what I got for you guys. Love is a weapon. Will you fight? Will you get out there, not in some unsafe, haphazard, ridiculous way, but in a way that you said, you know what, this is who I am. I'm going to be conscious of every opportunity to put some love out there. I ain't got to run up on people or interrupting people's conversations. I could just be me. And then when somebody says something, it's however I deal with it, be it feast or famine, peace or war, however I deal with it is coming from love. That right there is doing it. And we sometimes can't see it in the physical realm, what is actually taking place, but I guarantee you it's destroying the enemy every single time you go somewhere. Keep your smile, keep your calmness, have nice things to say, thinking clean and sharp and uplifting, and just got a buoyancy about yourself. It's destroying the enemy. They're falling down a notch, whether we see it or not. Eventually we'll see it, because everything has to take place in the spirit realm first. So keep on keeping on, and keep on fighting that good fight. Do not stop loving. Do not stop hoping in love. Do not stop believing in love. Do not stop showing and nurturing, planting, and watering and spreading love. So that's what I got for you guys. I start all of my videos the same way, requesting that you guys go to the website, read the bio, check it out, and then spread that inspirational story to as many people as you can. Not for me, but for he who has sent me. I do it to glorify him. So I end all my videos the same way too, which is, I don't know all of y'all, but I do love all of y'all. That's not just something that sounds good, it's true. And for those of you out there thinking, okay, well, he loves us, so that means we could play him to the left. No, it ain't that kind of love, baby boy. So I don't know all of y'all, but I do love all of y'all. Here's a mantra, a truth in which the way I live my life every single day. And that is, if you are feeling bad, and everyone has felt bad at one time or another. So if you're feeling bad, I'm not saying get up and just run out in a reckless, unthoughtful way. Sometimes there is a time for feeling bad. And we get that. We all know that. But if it's one of those things where you're feeling out of the ordinary bad, or it's been lingering on for quite a while, or it just came on, but you need to be in a better mood because you're about to go to a wedding or whatnot, and you don't want to be in that mood anymore, you want to stop it right then and there. If you're feeling bad, go make somebody else feel good, and I promise you, just like that, you'll start feeling good. If you're feeling bad, go make somebody else feel good, and you'll feel better. And if you're already feeling good, and you go find somebody who's feeling bad and make them feel good, then you will go from feeling good to feeling phenomenal. Just like that. That's just the way this universe works, guys. That's just the way this thing works. So thanks again for tuning in. Check out the website, subscribe, hit the like button, leave a comment, and know that you gotta feel blessed. You gotta know that you're blessed in order for you to actually receive that blessing. So thanks again. Have an incredibly positive and constructive day, and I'll be making another video for you guys again.